Hey friend, Jen here. Welcome to day 5 of our video mobility series. I hope you're starting to feel the benefit of this. I hope you're sticking with me here right until the end. Now today we are focusing all on lower body. We're gonna get a nice good stretch, some mobility exercises within our lower body. We'll keep it short, we'll keep it sweet. Let's get started. For our first stretch, we are going to start in a standing position. I've grabbed a pillow here just so I can share some modifications if you need them. So if you have a book, a block, a pillow, whatever, you may want that close by just as we do this first exercise or first stretch. So we're gonna come to legs wider than shoulder width apart. Toes might even face slightly outward. I would encourage you to try and keep them straight as best you can, but if there's a little bit of movement there, a little bit of openness, that's also fine. We are going to be pivoting at the hips exclusively, so only pivoting through the hips. We do have a soft bend through the knee. This is where that pillow can come up. We are going to do a standing straddle stretch. So pivoting at the hip, back stays nice and flat. This really is just if you need a little bit of extra height. If you're not maybe quite all the way to the ground, a block or a stool or something can be helpful here. We should be feeling this all through the back of the leg, back of the calves. We're gonna spend a few minutes here, really focusing not on hunching over, but being intentional with our hip movement, pivoting through there so that we feel a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Good, take a few moments here. I'm gonna put this pillow aside because I don't actually need it. But what we're also going to do is switch to the sides here. So if you have the pillow, you're just over here. Moving over to the side, we get a little bit of a back stretch with this as well. Maybe a little bit more on the one side that we're leaning towards. You might feel your body relaxing a little bit here, which is totally fine. Switching over to the other side. You can hold on to the foot if you want, or the bottom of the ankle, or if the floor is good, that's also fine. Good, coming back to the center. You can crawl those feet in a little bit, bending through the knees, so we're nice and easy on our back. Standing up should feel a nice kind of release through the back of the legs. We're going to then move into a standing groin stretch. So we're going to be feet shoulder width apart. We're actually going to step those out. Now this is where we really want to exaggerate those feet being out. Now they won't be quite as wide as they were in our first stretch. So slightly narrower, feet are now out. We are bending through the knees. So knees are going to follow where the feet are. They're going to be in line there. We're going to bend into a slight squat position. Arms are going to either be straight, you can do one at a time. This is a groin stretch. You can even do down onto the elbows. Whatever feels comfortable here. Should be feeling this basically through the knee, from one knee to the other, so right through our groin. Like I said, if you want to do one side at a time, you can. Just make sure you're not really forcing that movement and it's more of just a gentle stretch. Okay, if you're doing one side at a time, you might even be feeling the burn a little bit here, and that's okay. You can always just stand up, shake it out, get yourself back into it. I got a good stretch here. Come out of that nice and slowly. Again, you might be feeling the burn there just from having to hold that position. You can always reset yourself, so stand up, shake it out, get back into it. That is totally fine. The next one we are gonna come to is going to be a seated hamstring stretch. So we're actually gonna sit down for this. Legs are gonna come out completely straight. Feet are going to be stacked together. So ankles fairly close to each other. We're gonna keep our feet relaxed here, so they don't need to be pointed, they don't need to be super flexed, just wherever they kind of land. Chest nice and upright, back nice and flat. We're gonna start with arms up. We want this motion again to be happening from the hips, so not bending through the back. So nice and upright, pivoting at the hips, reaching down. Now, I've had lots of clients who are right here, and this is where that stretch is good for them. So they feel it right through the hamstrings, right through the calves. And that's totally fine if that is your range of motion. But you know, if you have a little bit more, making sure that back is nice and flat, that's also good. We really don't want to start bending that back until, you know, maybe we have some extended flexibility where we're really far towards the feet and we're just trying to finish that movement. But you know, if you're somewhere kind of at the beginning, let's really focus on chest pressing towards the legs so we get a nice good stretch through our hamstrings. Now sometimes I'll bring a little bit of variation into this, so I'll flex one foot. You'll start to feel that a little bit more in the calf. If you can't reach the toe, that's totally fine. You should feel that even just on its own. You know, we're always roughly aiming for about 30 seconds to 60 seconds with each stretch. The longer you have to commit to this, the better. That just gives your body time to kind of unwind and to trust that, you know, you're actually just stretching right now, so it can relax a little bit more. Sometimes I time my stretch sessions. Other times I just go with what feels good. I would just encourage you though, if you're doing this video or if you're trying stretching on your own, to make an effort to make it enjoyable. So put some relaxing music on, you know, put a show on that you enjoy. Make it something that is inviting so that you really spend the time here. If you didn't see that, I switched to the other side with flexing that foot, so please do so. Good, coming back to that hamstring stretch. A few more moments here. Good, coming back up. Core nice and tight. We're gonna scooch ourselves down to kind of mid-mat. So we're actually going to lie on our back for this next one. This is going to be a lying hip stretch or a glute stretch. So you're gonna cross one leg over. Knee is going to come out, so that foot is kind of residing just on the opposite knee. We're gonna bring that opposite leg up to about 90 degrees, pulling through kind of that window around our legs, holding that stretch. We should feel this in the glute or the knee that is bent. Now sometimes I will also do this against a wall. So if you can imagine where this foot is, I will put that against a wall and then I can use that leverage so I don't have to, you know, hold on. So there are some variations here. If this feels uncomfortable, you can try it against a wall. Few more moments here. If you have a little bit more range of motion, you can pull that knee a little bit forward, or you can think about pressing out the knee on the opposite side. Good, bringing it down, nice and gentle. Switching sides, so dropping that knee that was bent, crossing over with the opposite, back nice and flat, reaching through. Good, keep it up. Head can stay relaxed here. Should really only be feeling it in this one glute, the knee that is bent, kind of right through the side. Good. Like I said before, you can either bring that knee a little bit more forward so you feel a deeper stretch, or you can think about pushing that knee out slightly to get a little bit extra here towards the end. Good. I even feel that into my lower back, which is nice. Good. Dropping that leg. Feel free, if you ever want to pause the video and just spend a bit more time in a stretch, by all means do so. You're going to come up to a seated position. We are going to eventually come to a standing position. So take your time here, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. We do have one last mobility exercise here. We are going to be in a squat position. So feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, toes either forward or just slightly open. We are going to come to a squat position, so back nice and flat, chest nice and upright, squatting down as low as we can go. Okay, so you might need to adjust your feet here, even for myself, just so it feels comfy, and I encourage you only go here as far as works for you. From this squat position, dropping the hands, lifting the hips, feet come straight, getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Keep in mind, I have a slight bend in my knees. Okay, then we're going to adjust our feet slightly, coming back into that squat position. We're going to do 8 of these total. So that was 2. Back down. This is the start of 3. Taking it nice and slow. 4. 5. 6, almost there. You can even find a little bit of movement here if it's starting to feel pretty good. 7. And last one here. 8. Good, coming down to that squat position, standing up, using our legs here. Shake it out, check in with yourself. Today the focus was lower body, so do a bit of a body scan. How does your lower body feel right now? Does it feel like there's been some release? Did you feel tight in areas you didn't realize you were tight? Regardless, thank you so much for joining me here. Thanks for sticking it out. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know how you liked this one and what else I can include.